Peter Collins stood at the speaking platform, his hands gripping the edges until his knuckles turned white. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council stretched before him, filled with representatives from 27 alien civilizations. The air felt thick with tension. For the third time, I asked the Council to address the attack on New Montana, Peter said, keeping his voice steady despite his anger. 300 humans died. Our colony was destroyed. We have proof that the Vraxian pirates used weapons supplied by Council members. High Minister Zorix, a tall blue-skinned alien with 4 arms, waved dismissively. The human colony was outside approved expansion zones. The Council cannot be responsible for settlements in unregulated space. Peter took a deep breath. For 6 years, he had served as Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council. For 6 years, he had followed their rules, filled out their forms, and waited patiently while they denied humanity's requests for new territories and technologies. I have something to show the Council, Peter said, tapping his datapad. The large display behind him lit up with images. The wreckage of New Montana, the bodies, then more damning evidence, shipping records, weapons serial numbers, and communication logs, all pointing to Council races secretly arming the pirates who attacked the human colony. Gasps and angry mutters filled the chamber. Some representatives looked away in shame. Others showed no reaction at all. This evidence was gathered by our intelligence services, Peter continued. You armed our enemies while telling us we couldn't build better defenses for ourselves. You restricted our growth while plotting against us. High Minister Zorix stood up. These accusations are serious, Ambassador Collins. The Council will need to investigate. No, Peter interrupted. No more investigations. No more delays. No more lies. He stood taller now, his decision made. As of this moment, Earth and all human colonies withdraw from the Galactic Council. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some representatives shouted in protest. Others huddled in urgent discussion. A few sat in stunned silence. You cannot leave, said Zorix, his voice cutting through the noise. The treaties you've broken repeatedly, Peter asked. Those treaties. This is merely posturing, Zorix said, addressing the other council members rather than Peter. Humans are an emotional, impulsive species. They will return when they realize how much they need us. Peter gathered his things. We needed allies. What we got were oppressors. As he turned to leave, a small green alien named Kelnar approached him. Kelnar represented the Mraxians, insectoid traders known for their fairness. Ambassador Collins, Kelnar whispered, not all of us approved these actions against your people. Some of us argued against them. But not loudly enough, Peter replied. What will you do now? Kelnar asked. The Council controls most trade routes, defense systems, and communication networks. Peter managed a small smile. You've all underestimated humans from the beginning. That was your first mistake. As Peter walked out of the Council chamber, messages were already flying to Earth and the colonies. Within hours, human ships began withdrawing from Council space. Earth-owned businesses started closing their doors on Council worlds. The human withdrawal happened faster than anyone had predicted. 1 week later, in an emergency session, High Minister Zorix addressed the Council. The human departure is inconsequential, he declared. They are a minor species, barely space-capable for a century. The Council has existed for millennia. We will continue as we always have. But that night, when Zorix returned to his private chambers, he found his personal assistant waiting with troubling reports. Minister, we're already seeing problems, the assistant said. Human medical supplies aren't being delivered to the outer systems. 3 agricultural worlds are reporting food processing equipment failures, and the entertainment networks are in chaos without human content. Zorix dismissed the concerns. Temporary adjustments. Nothing more. He didn't know that in a secure facility on Earth, Director Olivia Martinez was meeting with military leaders. On a large screen before them was a simple message. Operation Free Sky is now active. The humans had left the Galactic Council, and nothing would be the same again. 6 months had passed since humanity's exit from the Galactic Council. Susan Carter wiped sweat from her forehead as she piloted her freighter, the Northern Star, through an asteroid field. She was taking a longer route to avoid Council patrols. These days, independent human ships were often stopped and searched without cause. "Captain, we've got a problem," said her navigator, a young man named Eric. "The engine cooling system is failing again." Susan sighed. Replacement parts were getting harder to find. Before humanity left the Council, she could repair her ship at any space station. Now, many refused to serve human vessels. "Use the bypass method I showed you," she told Eric. "We'll fix it properly when we reach Barnard's Star." The Northern Star carried medicines bound for a colony that had once relied on Council suppliers. When those suppliers stopped delivering after humanity's departure, people began to suffer. Susan's cargo would save lives if she could get through. Meanwhile, across Council space, problems were growing. In the great market halls of Centauri Prime, empty shelves appeared where human goods once sat. Council citizens complained about the disappearance of Earth coffee, wheat, and entertainment. The simple comforts they had taken for granted vanished overnight. On the Council homeworld, High Minister Zorix faced angry questions from other Council members. "The humans supplied 60% of our agricultural equipment," said the representative from Proxima, a world of farmers. "Our harvests will fail without their machines. 7 medical centers in my system have closed," added another representative. "We relied on human doctors and medicines." Zorix raised his 4 arms for silence. "These are temporary issues. Our scientists are working to replicate human technologies." But the problems weren't just material. A strange virus had infected the Council's communication network. It didn't destroy data. It just made it unreliable. Messages arrived garbled or hours late. Defense systems gave false alarms. The Council's best computer experts couldn't stop it. Back on her freighter, Susan received an encoded message. She needed to make a detour to Ta City Station. Someone important wanted to meet her. When she docked at the station, Susan found her old friend Alan Price waiting. Alan had served in Earth's Space Force before taking a job with government intelligence. "Good to see you, Susan," Alan said as they found a quiet corner in the station's bar. "How's business?" "Dangerous but profitable," she replied. "Council ships hassle us, but they need what we carry too much to stop us completely." Alan nodded. "Remember how the Council always claimed humans weren't ready for advanced drive technology? That we weren't stable enough." Susan remembered well. The Council had kept humanity from developing faster ships, claiming they needed to mature first. "Look at this," Alan said, sliding a small device across the table. It showed images of a new Earth vessel. Its design was like nothing Susan had seen before. "That's the Liberty," Alan explained. "First of our new fleet. Twice as fast as anything the Council has. They kept us from developing while they secretly armed our enemies. Now we're free to build what we want. The Council thinks we're weak without them," Susan said. Alan smiled. "That's their mistake. In the 6 months since we left, we've made more progress than in the 6 years before." As they talked, 3 alien merchants approached their table. Susan recognized them as Mraxians, the insectoid traders known for fairness. "We wish to speak about business," said the lead Mraxian. "Many worlds suffer without human goods. The Council's trade restrictions hurt everyone. We propose an arrangement outside Council oversight." Susan glanced at Alan, who nodded slightly. "I'm listening," she said. Across the galaxy, on worlds that had once looked down on humans as newcomers, people began to feel the absence of the species they had underestimated. Council ships patrolled more aggressively, while Council officials made speeches about stability and patience. But in secret meetings and quiet conversations, a question spread. What if the humans were right to leave? Director Olivia Martinez stood at the window of Earth's new defense headquarters. Below her, workers assembled ships that would have been illegal under Council rules. Without the Council's restrictions, human engineers created vessels that combined speed, power, and efficiency in ways that shocked even their designers. "The Terran Confederation is now official," said General Howard, joining her at the window. "All human colonies have signed the agreement." Olivia nodded. When humanity left the Galactic Council, many feared the colonies would split apart. Instead, the shared anger at the Council's betrayal united them. "How soon until the fleet is ready?" she asked. "The first 10 ships are operational now," the general replied. 30 more within the month. It wasn't a large fleet compared to the Council's thousands of vessels. But these ships carried technologies the Council had never seen. Technologies they had specifically forbidden humans from developing. Across the galaxy, Lieutenant John Ramirez led his team through the dark halls of a Council research station. They moved quietly, using equipment that blocked the station's sensors. "According to intelligence, the scientists are in the lower level," John whispered to his team. "Remember, this is a rescue mission. No casualties unless absolutely necessary." The Council claimed this facility studied space diseases, but Earth's intelligence services discovered its real purpose: developing biological weapons that could target specific species, including humans. John's team reached the secure area where 4 human scientists were held. The scientists had been working for the Council, unaware of the true nature of their research. When they discovered the truth and tried to leave, the Council imprisoned them. "We're from Earth," John told the startled scientists. "We're here to bring you home." One of the scientists, Dr. Karen Lee, looked doubtful. "The Council controls all major transport routes. How will we escape?" John smiled. "We have ways the Council doesn't know about." Meanwhile, in a neutral system far from both Earth and Council space, Mary Winters addressed representatives from 15 independent worlds. As a diplomatic officer for the new Terran Confederation, her job was to build relationships with non-Council planets. "The Galactic Council claims to protect stability," Mary told the gathered aliens. "But they create stability through control and fear. We propose a different approach. A free systems network where each world governs itself, and all members agree to protect each other." A reptilian representative raised a clawed hand. "Your ideas sound good, but how can such a small group of worlds defend against the Council's military might?" "By working together and using technologies the Council has suppressed," Mary answered. Earth was not the only world held back by Council restrictions. As she spoke, displays around the room showed images of the new human ships protecting trade routes that Council vessels had abandoned. They showed human doctors treating patients on worlds where Council medical support had been withdrawn as punishment for trading with Earth. "We don't ask anyone to fight the Council," Mary continued. "We simply offer an alternative to their system." Back on the Council homeworld, High Minister Zorix faced more bad news. The human computer virus had spread further, disrupting defense systems across 3 sectors. 6 independent worlds formerly allied with the Council had signed trade agreements with Earth, and now, Council intelligence reported that the human military had rescued scientists from a secret facility. "How did they even find the station?" Zorix demanded. "It was hidden and protected." His security chief looked uncomfortable. "We believe they had help from inside the Council." Zorix slammed all 4 fists on his desk. "Find the traitors." On Earth, Olivia Martinez received reports from across human space. The new ships performed better than expected. The free systems network was growing, and the Council was beginning to fracture from within. "They thought we'd come crawling back within months," she told her staff. "They thought we couldn't survive without them." Her assistant handed her a new report. "Director, we've just received word that the Tellarites are considering leaving the Council." Olivia smiled. The Tellarites were the oldest members of the Galactic Council besides the founding races. If they left, others would follow. "It's happening faster than we predicted," she said. "The Council is starting to collapse." The announcement came exactly 1 year after humanity's departure. The Tellarites, one of the oldest races in the Galactic Council, formally withdrew their membership. Their leader's speech echoed across communication channels throughout the galaxy. For too long, we accepted the Council's claim that their rules protected us all. The human exit forced us to examine this belief. We found it false. The Council does not exist to protect, but to control. Within weeks, 3 more species left the Council. Each departure weakened the organization that had dominated galactic politics for centuries. On the bridge of the Terran vessel Hope, Admiral Frank Davis watched the situation unfold in the Procyon system. The Civil War had erupted when half the population wanted to leave the Council while the ruling government insisted on staying. Council forces are bombing civilian targets, reported his sensor officer. They're claiming they're only hitting military installations, but our scans show otherwise. Frank had clear orders from Earth. The Terran Confederation would not directly fight Council forces unless attacked first, but they could provide humanitarian aid and evacuation assistance. "Take us in," Frank ordered. "Launch medical shuttles and begin evacuation procedures for all civilians in the conflict zones." As the Hope approached the planet, 3 Council warships moved to intercept. "They're charging weapons," the tactical officer announced. Frank opened a communication channel. "Council vessels, this is Admiral Davis of the Terran Confederation. We are on a humanitarian mission to assist civilians. Any interference will be considered an act of war." For tense moments, the Council ships maintained their course. Then, surprising everyone on the Hope's bridge, they turned away. "Sir," said the communications officer, "I'm receiving a private message from the Lid Council ship." The message was brief. "Some of us remember what honor means. Help those people." Meanwhile, on the Council homeworld, an emergency session had been called. The remaining Council members argued loudly about how to handle the growing crisis. "We must impose sanctions on Earth immediately," demanded the representative from the Draconis hegemony, a militaristic empire that had always viewed humans with suspicion. "With what leverage?" asked another member. "Half our medical systems are failing without human expertise. Trade is disrupted across 17 sectors." High Minister Zorix looked older than he had a year ago. His blue skin had paled, and his 4 arms seemed to tremble slightly. "We will vote on sanctions," he announced. "All in favor." But only 8 of the remaining 20 members raised their hands. "The motion fails," Zorix said, his voice hollow. Back in human space, a small Council spy ship watched the construction of a new space station near Alpha Centauri. The spy ship's captain recorded everything he saw, especially the strange devices being installed around the station's perimeter. "Those aren't weapons we recognize," he told his crew. "Report everything to Council intelligence." Before they could transmit their findings, the spy ship's systems suddenly shut down. No weapons had been fired, but nothing worked. Not engines, not communications, not even life support. As the crew began emergency procedures, a message appeared on all their screens. "Your life support will restart in 5 minutes. Your engines in 10. Your communications in 15. Consider this a demonstration, not a threat. Return to Council space." Exactly as promised, their systems restarted. The captain ordered an immediate retreat. On Earth, in a secure facility deep underground, a team of engineers monitored the test of their new defensive system. Project leader Sam Wong smiled at the results. Ghost Protocol performed exactly as designed. He told Director Martinez. It disabled the Council ship without causing any damage or harm to the crew. Olivia nodded with satisfaction. The Council has always feared human innovation. Now they'll understand why. Across the galaxy, rumors spread about the encounter. Some said humans had developed energy fields that could disable ships remotely. Others claimed they had mastered control of artificial intelligences banned by the Council for centuries. The truth was both simpler and more complex. Freed from Council restrictions, human creativity had flourished in unexpected ways. While the Council had focused on weapons that destroyed, humans had created systems that neutralized threats without destruction. As news spread of more worlds considering leaving the Council, High Minister Zorix faced a stark reality. The organization he led was fracturing, and he could not stop the process. Perhaps, he confided to his closest advisor, we were wrong about the humans all along. The Council's top intelligence officer slammed his fist on the table. The screens around him showed system after system failing. Security networks crashed. Surveillance satellites went dark. Communication relays stuttered and died. It's in everything, he told the emergency committee. The humans planted it before they left, and we never noticed. The virus had a name now, Ghost Protocol. Council tech experts had finally identified it after months of system failures. The virus hadn't just entered their networks, it had become part of them, impossible to remove without rebuilding everything from scratch. How could they do this? Asked a council member. Their technology was supposed to be inferior to ours. We believed our own lies, the intelligence officer replied. While the council struggled with technological collapse, Agent Lisa Cooper moved silently through the corridors of their headquarters on Arcturus Prime. Dressed as a maintenance worker, she accessed areas that should have been impossible to reach. The Ghost Protocol had disabled many security systems, creating blind spots she could exploit. Lisa's mission was clear: find evidence of the assassination plots against human leaders. Earth's intelligence services had intercepted fragments of communications, suggesting the Council planned to kill key figures in the human government. In a secure room, Lisa connected her device to the Council's database. Files began copying immediately. She had 4 minutes before the security system would reset. At 3 minutes and 40 seconds, she disconnected and slipped away. No alarm sounded. No guards appeared. The Council would never know she had been there. Meanwhile, near Proxima Centauri, the first major confrontation between Council and human forces was underway. A Council battle group had entered the system, claiming they were pursuing pirates. In truth, they intended to destroy the new human defense station. Captain Richard Norton commanded the human response. His small fleet of 6 ships faced 15 Council vessels. They're entering weapons range, reported his tactical officer. Maintain position, Richard ordered. Activate defense pattern Alpha. The Council ships fired first, energy weapons lashing out across space, but their shots dispersed harmlessly against the human ship shields. Return fire, Richard ordered. Non-lethal systems only. The human ships released dozens of small objects that sped toward the Council vessels. These weren't missiles or torpedoes, but tiny drones carrying the Ghost Protocol. One by one, the Council ships went dark, their systems disabled. The Council commander's voice came through on emergency channels, angry and confused. What have you done to our ships? Nothing permanent, Richard replied. Your life support will continue functioning. All other systems will restart once you leave our space. The battle ended without a single death. When reports reached other Council worlds, many citizens questioned why their leaders had claimed human technology was primitive. On Earth, Director Martinez met with her intelligence team. Lisa had returned with the files from Arcturus Prime. It's worse than we thought, Lisa reported. They plan to kill our entire leadership during the Centauri Peace Conference next month. Olivia studied the evidence. Send this information to all our allies in neutral worlds. Everyone should see how the Council really operates. In Council space, more systems declared independence each day. The Free Systems Network now included nearly 40% of former Council territory. Trade flourished along new routes protected by human ships. On the Council homeworld, the political situation reached a breaking point. In a heated session, several members demanded High Minister Zorix resign. Your policies have destroyed the Council, accused the representative from Deneb. You missiled us about the humans. You hid their true capabilities. Zorix fought back. Everything I did was to maintain order. The humans are dangerous. Their ideas spread like a virus. Perhaps we need that virus, replied another member. Our civilization has been stagnant for centuries. The vote was quick and decisive. Zorix was removed from power. As guards escorted him from the chamber, he saw his legacy crumbling around him. In her office on Earth, Olivia Martinez received news of Zorix's fall. She should have felt triumphant, but instead felt only determination. This wasn't about revenge against the Council. It was about creating something better. Phase 1 is complete, she told her advisors. Now we begin Phase 2, rebuilding the galactic community with freedom at its core. 2 years after humanity left the Galactic Council, the organization existed mostly in name only. What had once been the supreme power in the galaxy now controlled less than a third of its former territory. The Grand Council Chamber, designed to hold representatives from dozens of worlds, now echoed with emptiness during meetings. In contrast, the Free Systems Network flourished. With 40% of former Council space, the network operated on principles of mutual respect and voluntary cooperation. Earth was a founding member but deliberately avoided a leadership position. As Ambassador Peter Collins often reminded others, we don't want to replace the Council. We want something better. On New Terra, a colony world near the former Council border, engineer Paul Garcia made the final adjustments to his new shield generator. Unlike Council technology, which consumed massive amounts of energy, Paul's design used a fraction of the power while providing superior protection. Ready for the test, Paul told the observers from 6 different worlds. Among them were former Council scientists who had defected, amazed by human innovation, now freed from restrictions. The test began. Energy weapons, powerful enough to destroy small cities, fired at the shield. The barrier flickered with blue light, but held steady. When the firing stopped, the shield was still at 98% strength. Impossible, muttered one alien scientist. The energy requirements alone should have. Paul smiled. We approached the problem differently. Your people always tried to block energy directly. We found a way to redirect and diffuse it instead. News of the successful test spread quickly. Within days, a dozen more worlds applied to join the network, seeking access to human technology now being shared freely with allies. Meanwhile, in the remaining Council territory, hardline military leaders plotted a desperate move. The Draconis hegemony, always the most aggressive Council member, had taken control after Zorix's fall. They assembled the largest battle fleet seen in generations. The humans have disrupted the natural order, declared Fleet Commander Krall to his officers. They must be eliminated before more worlds fall under their influence. The Council fleet launched in secret, using old emergency channels not compromised by the Ghost Protocol. Their target, Earth itself. They believed a decisive strike against humanity's homeworld would end the rebellion and restore Council authority. Earth's sensors detected the approaching armada when it was still 2 days away. Rather than panic, Director Martinez activated a plan long prepared for this scenario. Send the alert to all network members, she ordered. It's time to show what we can do together. As the Council fleet approached Earth, they expected to face a small defensive force. Instead, they found ships from 27 different worlds waiting for them. Human vessels flew alongside ships from former Council races and independent worlds that had joined the network. Fleet Commander Krell was stunned. Half these species have been enemies for centuries. How did the humans unite them? The answer came in a transmission from Admiral Frank Davis, commanding the combined fleet. This is not a human defense force. This is the Free Systems Network united against aggression. Return to Council space immediately. Krell ignored the warning and ordered his fleet to attack. The battle that followed shocked observers throughout the galaxy. Network ships used technologies the Council had never seen before, targeting weapons and engines while avoiding life support systems. Within hours, the mighty Council armada was disabled but not destroyed. Only 12 lives were lost, all due to accidents rather than direct weapons fire. As rescue ships approached the disabled Council vessels, Krell received another message from Admiral Davis. Your crew will be returned safely to Council space. Your ships will remain with us. The Free Systems Network doesn't seek war, but we will not permit aggression against our members. On the Council homeworld, news of the defeat spread despite official censorship. Across dozens of planets, citizens began questioning everything their leaders had told them about humanity. Underground movements formed, calling for their worlds to leave the Council and join the network. In her office, Director Martinez reviewed reports from across the galaxy. The Council's attack was actually a gift, she told her advisors. They showed everyone exactly why their system needs to end. Ambassador Collins nodded. And why ours needs to begin. 5 years after humanity left the Galactic Council, representatives from over 100 worlds gathered on Earth. The Grand Meeting Hall in New Geneva had been built specifically for this historic occasion. Above the stage hung a simple banner with the words, "Together in Freedom." Ambassador Nicole Wright, who had replaced Peter Collins after his retirement, stood at the center podium. At 42, she represented the new generation of human leadership that had never known council rule. "Welcome to the founding conference of the Galactic Cooperative," she began. 5 years ago, humanity stood alone against a system that valued control over freedom. Today, we stand with friends from across the stars to build something new. The gathered delegates applauded. Among them were many former council races, independent worlds that had never joined the council, and even representatives from the few remaining Council loyalist planets. "The cooperative charter has 3 core principles," Nicole continued. "First, voluntary membership with the right to leave at any time. Second, non-interference in internal affairs of member worlds. Third, mutual defense against external threats." These principles directly oppose the Council's approach of forced membership, constant interference, and selective protection. As Nicole read through the charter details, many delegates nodded in approval. In the audience sat Susan Carter, the freighter captain whose small ship Northern Star had helped forge initial trade connections when official routes were closed. Beside her was Admiral Frank Davis, hero of the Earth defense battle. They represented the 2 sides of humanity's response to the Council crisis, peaceful trade and principled defense. The old Council believed stability required control. Nicole told the assembly. "We believe true stability comes from freedom and cooperation. History has proven us right." Indeed, the evidence was clear. Regions that joined the Free Systems Network, now being formalized as the Galactic Cooperative, showed increased prosperity, technological advancement, and peaceful relations with neighbors. The few areas still under Council control suffered from resource shortages, civil unrest, and declining living standards. The final Council holdouts, seeing the difference, had requested observer status at the conference. Everyone knew they would likely apply for cooperative membership soon. After the charter was unanimously approved, the conference received a surprising message. 3 ships had appeared at the edge of the solar system, requesting permission to approach Earth. They came from beyond the galaxy's explored regions. "We have watched your conflict with the Council for many years," their message stated. "We remained hidden, fearing Council oppression. Now we wish to join your cooperative." These previously unknown species had technologies different from anything seen before. They had avoided contact with other civilizations, specifically because of the Council's reputation for forcing compliance with their rules. As the conference concluded, Peter Collins, now elderly but still sharp-minded, met with an alien historian who was documenting these events. "When we left the Council, many thought we were making a terrible mistake," Peter told the historian. "They believed we couldn't survive alone. Yet here we are," the historian noted, with the Council virtually disbanded and a new, more just system taking its place. Peter nodded. "The interesting thing is that we never defeated the Council through superior firepower. We simply offered a better alternative. People chose freedom when given the chance." That evening, thousands gathered to watch the launch of the New Horizon, a massive exploration vessel staffed by crews from 27 different species. Its mission: to explore regions of space previously considered too dangerous under Council rule. The ship's captain was Susan Carter, the former freighter pilot who had risked her life during the early days after humanity's departure. As the new horizon rose from Earth's surface, cheers erupted from the watching crowd. On the Council homeworld, the few remaining officials watched the broadcast in silence. Their magnificent chamber, once the seat of galactic power, now echoed with emptiness. "We could have prevented this," one said quietly, "if we had treated them as equals instead of children to be controlled." The other nodded. "The humans warned us. When they left, they said chaos would follow." "Not chaos," the first one corrected. "Freedom."